There is power behind every story we carry within. Every tragedy, no, yes, laugh, victory. And every testimony that is incubated within our souls have power. The power to transform, from tragedy to crown, from obstacle to opportunity. And all the moments in between make us wiser. Watch Candid Conversations with Charisa for impactful, unheard moments that will certainly spark your power and inner truth to shift, heal, and restore your life. It's time to get real, uncover, unlock, unpack, set free, and increase the dialogue to change a life. We all start somewhere and end in places of destiny. Get ready for the long-awaited Candid Conversations with Charisa.
Yeah. Answer this one. What did 15-year-old Charisa like?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would. That's why the question has been asked, please.
15-year-old me, my 15-year-old self, as a PK in the Bahamas. Like that right there is a combination and a recipe for a major disaster, because you're on a small island, you got plenty people, and then you got plenty nosy people. People who always watching, they observing, they got you on a pedestal, they got my parents on this pedestal, so they got me and my brother on a pedestal. But they are waiting to see if we gonna fall off this pedestal or if we gonna maintain. And then at 15 years of age, you got my 15-year-old self now. I was never rebellious. But at 15, you're trying, shut up. At 15, you're trying your luck. You're trying your parents' patience. You're seeing how far you could go. So, I had moments in my life when, you're doing you typical teenager, okay? But I also knew that, and I learned this earlier on, that people are watching, people are looking, people are expecting. So they're watching to see what you're gonna do. They're looking to see how you're gonna look and how you're gonna dress, and they're expecting you. You have some who are expecting you to follow a certain line. They're expecting you to follow a certain set of rules and restrictions. And then you have some who are expecting you to fall. Oh, they're gonna be just like every other PK's child, every other PK who, go off into drugs and go off into sex and go off into having kids before marriage and end up in jail and all these kind of things. And that wasn't my brother and I. Was I perfect? No. At 15, definitely not. I was not a perfect child. I don't think there is any perfect kid. Did I get punished? Did I get found out when I did things? Of course I did. But my father taught us to expect that. Like, we knew what to expect. So we knew that people were doing that. We couldn't control it. Like, that was one of the things I couldn't control. So I didn't allow it to get to me. And sometimes it did. You have people who would run to my mom, oh, why are you letting Charisa wear lipstick at this age? And in my mind, I'm thinking, why is it any of your business? Or I'll hear a story on a certain Sunday or Monday night. Oh yeah, Charisa and her friends been wherever they've been. And you're wondering, like, first of all, where are you? Why are you around? Is someone running and telling you? Do you have paparazzi around? Like, you'd be surprised how people see and find the things they do. And what we were not going to do, me and my brother, is we were not gonna hide. I wasn't gonna live under some bushel. I wasn't gonna live under a rock because I didn't feel like being judged. I had to learn that if I did not make a move because I didn't want to be judged, I wouldn't do anything at all. I wouldn't have fun. I wouldn't have friends. I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't want to do anything. And even if it meant getting in trouble, like, I'd rather get in trouble than not to have had fun, not to have go out, not to have gone out, not to have experienced, not to have to done something and then realize I shouldn't have done that and then not learn from that lesson. So, it's, and then you ask 15, and then you're asking for a certain age. Like at 15, I was, like, we was trying things. Okay, never mind. I forgot my husband was sitting here and there's some
I
things
gotta-
he didn't know, you see?
I got a follow-up question. You telling me, you say at 15 you wasn't rebellious, so you wait to the other side of 35 to get rebellious? Man, bye.
I was never rebellious. Come back, honey. Come on. No, I was never the rebellious child. I was never rebellious. I can't even say my brother was. We did things. We did some things that, mom and dad probably never knew. They probably, and then now they ain't never gonna know. But, and that's just it. Like I'm able to say I did things because in spite of people expectations, in spite of the behavior, and Bahamas is so small, so you do something at somebody's house, that somebody knows somebody else, and then that somebody else knows somebody, and then they go and they start spreading around information, whether it's rumors or truth or whatever the case may be. So literally, you wondering how so-and-so finds something out, that done gone around 10 houses. Like that's how it is where I'm from. And it was difficult, it was challenging at times, but we just, and I'm so happy my parents didn't shelter us. So we did stuff, we made mistakes, and we were corrected, and then we learned from them. So yeah, it was interesting, but it was not manageable. It was beyond my control, so I didn't. We didn't allow it to stop us.
I'm just leaning into you. Bro.
Oh, sorry.
Carry on.
My upbringing as a PK, how has that prepared me for marriage? I will say this: being a PK has absolutely nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do. Being a preacher's kid did nothing for preparing me for marriage. However, having the father and mother that I had, outside of their PK role, just as parents, just as two people who loved each other, who had a great marriage in my eyes, that has helped lay the foundation and the groundwork for marriage. If you had asked me this question before marriage, I may have been able to say that it prepared me in this way, and I'm prepared in that way. But now that I'm married and I'm, 7 months in, my love?
That's
8 months in. The preparation is relative, because there is some preparation for marriage, but there is no preparation for the person that you're going to marry. And sometimes those two things are clash-worthy. So there are some fundamental concepts that I have as it pertains to marriage, that when it's time to apply it, because you learn on the job how to deal with the person you chose to marry, it makes it very sometimes interesting, sometimes challenging. It requires certain adjustment. But I think mom and dad did a very good job at teaching the fundamentals for marriage as it pertains to loyalty and trustworthiness, and making your home, your husband and your family your first ministry. And so I make sure that as busy as that I can be, as I even level up in my brand and what that's gonna look like, taking me to higher levels, it's never gonna be priority or more important than this right here and the family that we create. That I have definitely learned from my parents, just watching how they are with each other and their marriage. As far as preparation for the marriage, also how important proper communication, not just communication, but proper communication with each other, which has been some of our struggles, yes?
That's an understatement.
You know what?
And
it hasn't always been easy.
It's been 9 months. You shortchanging me.
I apologize. In our 9 months of being together, communication has been one of the things that we have had to work through. But it's also coming into it, I've had some preparation, so I'm not completely lost and ignorant. But I'm also learning that I actually know nothing. I know nothing when it comes to marriage. I know nothing when it comes to having to die to yourself and now love someone else and put their needs before yours and care for them. And like, I'm learning this as we go. But I've been able to watch my parents live through this as well. And so it's been amazing to me, even watching myself apply some of the things that I've seen in my own home growing up to my marriage and with my husband and in our home life. So.
You're doing a fine job too, baby.
Thank you, my
Thank
love.
you, I appreciate it.
So how does Kingdom Single Me different from Kingdom Married Me? Very good question.
Lean in on this
There
one.
is indeed a difference. You know, as a single person, you have certain thoughts, you have certain ideals. As a kingdom person, you just have to worry about yourself. You prioritize yourself. You prioritize your needs. You prioritize your goals, your vision. As a single person, and even as a kingdom single person, like God is always first, and He's always first even as a married person, but He's first, and you have so much time in your hands, you have so much more time you can give Him, so much more time you can give to everything and everyone else. And then as a married person, your time now becomes something that you have to even manage even more. And you realize that, man, I have less time for God than I did when I was single. I have less time for myself than I did when I was single. I have less time for my friends than I did when I was single. And so it requires this transition, this adjustment, this switch. And it is an adjustment and transition that we have had to work through. It's not automatic. It's not immediate. It's not easy. It's actually something that it's through trial and error. So you do one thing and you realize, ooh, that didn't fit the marriage really well. So we try something else. It's like, that didn't work. And then you try something else and you'll be like, okay, so this is working for us. But the other issue is, we say, like, if I was to give you an example and we say that this works for us, it may not work for you. It may not work for the type of person you are and the type of person your husband is and what works for your marriage. But I've really had to die to self and put self to the side as a single person and realize that my thoughts, my decisions, my choices, I now have to think about somebody else. Like before, a very good example, I could hop on a plane anytime and go anywhere when I was single. Loved it for as long as I want. I can't do that now without deciding and without having a conversation and without including him. And the one thing I will say though, like I've been one of those single women who I had so much fun as an individual person, as a single person. I had so much time to prepare me and mold me and develop the person I am today. And I had so much time to just prepare myself for whoever the man I was going to marry. That when I traveled, I lived, I had fun, did all of this as a single person. Had all this love that I was giving to friends and family and animals. And it's like now I'm so happy to have all that love to share with my special person, to share with my person, to share all that, to create new adventures and create new memories with my person and my husband and this person who I've decided to make the head of my home and the leader of my life. And that has been that part of it, I will say, has been an easy adjustment for me because I wasn't one of those as a single person who was rushing to get married, who was rushing to find someone, I was not that person. I was enjoying life. He came across when I was perfectly fine with the single individual life that I had. But I think that's just it, right? Like I was ready, I was prepared. It was just timing with everything. And he came along and making that transition and switch from single. To be very honest, he is the one that's actually having a harder time transitioning from single him to married him. Yes?
Oh yeah, I've been growing a long time. Long time. Long time. Come when you want to, leave when you please. Yes. So it's definitely been a harder adjustment. You've made it easier though.
And that's what we do. You know, we, like I said, but communication is key. So we literally are figuring it out. And I think though it's challenging, the fun part for me is figuring it out together with him. I would have hated to have to figure that out by myself. And so we get to figure it out together, and it's tough and it's hard, and we hit walls, we have fun, we laugh, we cry. But when we figure it out, it's beautiful, it's powerful. I love it.